Hello everybody, my name is Seth Shamp. We're here at Gracie, Vermont, bringing you another move of the week. So far we've been talking a lot about what to do when we have someone in our closed guard. Today we're going to be talking about flipping that upside down. What do I do when I'm in somebody's closed guard? First thing to understand is I do not want to be in somebody's closed guard. That is not a good spot for me. In fact, I teach being in somebody's closed guard is like having someone on your back, being mounted by someone, being stuck in someone's side control. My job when I'm in those spots is to survive and escape. So when I'm in someone's closed guard, my job is to survive and escape. And today, that's what I'm going to be teaching. Instead of teaching a move of the week, I'm going to be teaching a concept today. And this concept is the 6 rules of surviving closed guard. When you are stuck in someone's closed guard, your job is to follow these 6 rules. If you can adhere to these 6 rules, it'll be very difficult for someone to sweep or submit you. In fact, if you can so thoroughly follow these 6 rules, your opponent oftentimes will open up their guard on their own just because they have no more options. 6 rules of surviving guard. We're going to go through them one at a time, understanding what they mean. First one, very important, hands off the mat. When you're in someone's closed guard, your job is to keep your hands on them, in their armpits, under their ribs, grabbing their pants, grabbing their collar, grabbing their sleeve. Hands never on the mat. Second, I want to keep my head in the center line. If my opponent goes to sit up past me, I circle my head back to the middle. Hands up the mat, head in the middle. Third, I want to take away their angles. If I'm in my opponent's closed guard and they start to move their hips out to one side, I follow that angle. I want to keep those angles. Again, I'm not against angles. I'm against your angles. I'll create my own angles. I'll do my own thing from inside the guard, but I cannot let you create angles. Take away the angles. Hands off the mat, head in the middle, take away their angles. Fourth, 2 hands in or 2 hands out. Never one in and one out. Most of us know this is how you get triangled. You can also get omoplatas. There's bad things that can happen if I have 1 hand in, 1 hand out. So 2 hands are always in, 2 hands can be out. Hands up the mat, head in the middle, 2 in and 2 out, and take away the angles. Now, the 5th and the 6th rule have to do with something called posture. When I was first coming up, I thought posture meant sitting in the guard up very regal, and that is good posture. But what I've learned over the years is that posture is defined by 2 things. Wherever your hands are, on them. It creates an imaginary plane to the ceiling. My head cannot break that plane. Secondly, wherever my knees are, there's an imaginary plane to the ceiling, and my hips cannot break that plane. When I'm in somebody's guard, hands on them, my head is never over that plane, my hips are never over that plane. Head behind the hands, hips behind the knees. 6 rules of surviving the closed guard. Hands off the mat, head in the middle, 2 in and 2 out, take away the angles, head behind the hands, hips behind the knees. If you can so thoroughly follow these 6 rules, you will make your opponent's life very difficult and oftentimes force them to open their guard on their own volition. When you're stuck in someone's closed guard, get out. It's not a good place to be. If you're like, well, I can sometimes hit chokes from here. Sure, sometimes we can do things. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. Doesn't mean it should be the way you train. If I could get into my closed guard of my son, my 9-year-old son, I could probably cross-choke him. But all things being equal, if I'm in another black belt's closed guard, that is a dangerous place to be. So, 6 rules of surviving the closed guard. Hands up the mat, head in the middle, 2 in or 2 out, take away the angle, head behind the hands, hips behind the knees. My name is Seth Shamp. I'm here at Gracie, Vermont, bringing you another move of the week.